navigation, the basic navigations of edit mode right now. And so with our cube selected, go ahead and click on object and then click edit mode. And this will bring us into edit mode. Edit mode is split into three different selection types. You've got vertex selection, you've got edge selection, and you've got face selection. They can be found in the top left here. Yeah, those ones. So with the vertex selection, you can shortcut that by pushing 1 on the keypad. Edge selection, you can shortcut that by pushing 2 on the keypad. And face selection, you can shortcut that by pushing 3 on the keypad. Uh, Anytime you might be confused about anything that's in your viewport, you can hover over it like this. And you'll see me do that quite a bit. Sometimes I forget and I'm just like, what is this button do? Because there's so many buttons. So you'll see me just like early on playing with the shapes to kind of show what each thing's do. This is a vertex, everything in the screen is made up of vertex that are connected by edges, which are filled in with faces, and we manipulate these principles to make polygons and shapes and eventually characters and things that move. Those are the things that I like at least. But you can make scenes, you can make abstract art, whatever you want. Um, yeah. Okay, so in edit mode, you can select vertex. You can select a vertex, and I'm pushing G to move it around. But same thing, you can push G and Z, move it up and down along the Z axis. You can push G and Y and move it along the Y axis. Scale doesn't work with the vertex. Scale doesn't work with the vertex because vertex is like a single point. There's nothing to scale. It's all just one thing. Can't do that. What else can we do with it? Can't really rotate a point either. R doesn't really work with a single point in space. You can't rotate a single point. So if we grab two of them, we shift clicked and now we got two of them. If I push rotate, we can get some rotation there. Yeah. Okay, so that's vertex select. Edge select, same thing. We're working with edges, and there's times when you're gonna want to grab a whole edge and mess with it and mess with the whole edge. Yeah. Things like that. Same thing, you can scale an edge, you can rotate and grab an edge. So a little bit more control over larger things. Go ahead and push this one, the next one over is your face select. Yeah, face select. We'll use that one a lot too. Yeah. When modeling and doing things for game engines, which what we're going to focus on is modeling characters in particular for games. Um, we we want to work in quads in particular at first. This is going to be best practices, at least for beginners. But everything is going to be broken down by your CPU into triangles anyway. And it's just easiest for it to do that if it's quads, and it's easiest for us to work with certain model things when just focusing on quad-based topology. So the name of the game, kind of moving forward, is we got to keep these squares. We got to keep them pretty squares. And so we can manipulate these shapes in a number of ways to kind of keep that topology all squares, and there's a lot of fun tricks to do that. Other basic navigation stuff that I'm forgetting to talk about um, is just like basic things. When you select something, it turns orange. So when you select an object, it's orange. When you select a face, it's orange. You can shift select, um, and that'll select multiple things. And you can control Z each part of the step out of that. That's really helpful to know. The other thing is, so like shift select will select everything. Yeah, it'll select multiple things. There's also control click, and that will go along the loop. And so that's why also loops are important. There's going to be times when we want to select a whole loop, and that can be done by double clicking on an edge, um, like that, or you can like shift click. It depends if you have loop tools installed or not. So that's how you select an edge. With your shape, I'm going to go ahead and delete this cube once again. Sorry, friend. And then add another one, just so I have something clean to work off of. To talk about some more like basic navigation things. So I'm back in edit mode with this cube, and I'm going to push 1 on my number pad, and that's going to bring me into vertex mode. Vertex mode. The other shortcut that I'm going to use a lot is Control R, and that is loop cut, and that's going to add a loop cut along the loop that is highlighted. And you can see as I move my cursor around to different parts of it, there's different areas that are selected. The other cool thing about loop cuts is like this is one cut down the middle, and it slices right down the middle like that. If you push Control R again, you can add, it'll bisect whatever you're going for. If you actually scroll on the mouse wheel, it'll give you more. It'll give you more options. So you can like keep scrolling on the mouse wheel and give it like these like infinite cuts. Usually we don't want to do that. Most of the time it's just like just give it one, and it's good. You can also see. I'm going to move my avatar real quick to fix this next part. Um, let's see. I gotta walk over here. Gotta walk out of sight. But if you see in the left-hand corner here, there's something called loop cuts. You can also select that, and you can also increase the number that way. But it's just easiest with the scroll wheel instead of just like using that thing. There's like some weird fall off in the other options here. I don't know what factor does. That just like that's where it's at. That's where it's at. We want 0 factor. So you can play around with those settings and see what that does. But as you can see, by using loop cuts, we're adding geometry to this, and we're keeping it in that good quad-shaped shapes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. We've talked about that. Uh, I think that's it for this video. I think that's all. I think I think that's all for like basic navigation. I'm probably going to think of some other things, but that's all I wanted to cover in this because I didn't want to take too long. But we've got loop cuts, we've got the different selection modes and the basic navigation. I hope this helped. I hope it did. Okay. Okay, I think you're doing a great job learning Blender so far. It's scary, it's hard, but I promise it's good and rewarding once you learn.